It was fun choosing music for this week to embody change and joy. And all the things that this day encompasses. It's a complicated day for some people. As you know, I'm the intern here at this church, and I've been here for a couple years now, and I was only supposed to be here for 1 year, but I stayed for 2, because y'all are so great. A lot of my colleagues during their ministerial internships figure out whether or not they actually want to be parish ministers. Some of them are saying, you know what, I think I'm going to be a hospital chaplain instead. But I came into this internship already pretty sure that this is what I wanted to do. And my time here has only strengthened and validated the call to that path for me. So thank you all for that. That's not to say that things have gone according to plan. Not at all. Aside from the doubling of my internship year, which is normal, normally you do 2 years, my seminary journey has had some ridiculous curveballs thrown in it. I don't have time to enumerate all of them here. I had to let go of my plans, let go of my timeline. I have finally graduated, but it took me 6 years instead of 3. There was a pandemic, blah, blah, blah. I had to let go of what I thought this was going to be like, what I thought my life was going to be like, how I thought any of this was going to go. I had to learn to submit to change. Maybe Octavia Butler would say I had to submit to following God's lead. The philosopher, poet, and climate activist Bayo Akomolafe writes, the most powerful journeys we must take are the ones we are not ready for and we cannot prepare for. These journeys don't take us to premeditated destinations, but we must take them because we too are taken by something beyond naming. In these past 2 years, I've gone through a whole lot of changes. Some of those changes have been internal. Some have been prompted by my work with all of you, and some of them have been external, stuff out in my life. And these changes keep happening. It's part of life, right? A lot of what I've learned here at UU Nashua is the not glamorous minutia of ministry. It doesn't make good sermon material. And just so that you know what I'm talking about, I'll give you an example. There's an upcoming church meeting. When do you send an email such that it's early enough for people to schedule around it, but not so early that they forget about it between the time that they get the email and the time that the meeting actually happens? Trick question. You have to send out 2. As I said, not great sermon material. It's kind of like making a garden bed. It's not glamorous, it's kind of dirty, and it's not the part that people show up for, right? They show up for the flowers. The staff can turn the soil, add compost, give it some mulch and water, but it's not a garden if there's no plants in it. And that's all of you. You bring the trees, the flowering shrubs, the tulip bulbs, the tiny little seeds, that's all you. Otherwise, it's just a patch of empty, fancy dirt. You all make this place what it is. And I feel so honored every Sunday morning that I get to be here while someone's tinkering away at the keys and you're milling about. I think that's my favorite part of a Sunday morning. So when I'm sitting up here and we haven't even started yet, and you're all talking to each other, am I ruining the magic, Allison? You're all talking to each other, just being you. And my cup fills up and spills over. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with love. I look out at each one of your faces and I think about what each and every one of you brings to this community that makes UU Nashua have its own particular collective personality. We are all just so blessed to have each other. Spill it over, y'all. For a very long time, my life has not been what you would call stable. My parents still live in the house that I grew up in, but having left that home, I have never lived anywhere for more than 2 years. I have had 18 different addresses and some brushes with homelessness. I graduated from college at the peak of a recession and nobody could find jobs. It became taboo to ask anybody, what do you do? Because that was a useless question. It didn't tell you anything about what that person actually cared about or anything about their personality. I've had probably over 30 different employers. Not an exaggeration. I tried counting. In my heart, I'm a homesteader, but I have no land. I have had to learn how to be self-contained, relatively stable in an ever-changing environment. And part of that has been rolling with the punches and learning how to have fun in the moment, no matter what tomorrow's gonna bring, because every moment is precious. And so we gotta look for that joy, even when we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. So I might have less anxiety than some people. It brings creativity. It brings thinking on your feet. And it means that I don't get attached quickly, which can be lonely. And it's difficult for me because I care so much. I care so much. And I don't think that anybody's out to get me or anything. It's more that when you live in a world where everything is changing so dramatically, it can be difficult to trust. Trust is built over time. And I've not been able to stay put no matter how much I want to. In her book, Emergent Strategies, Adrienne Marie Brown says, trust the people and they will become trustworthy. Over the past 2 years, I have watched the ways that you all show up for each other. I'm just passing through, but you have shown me what's possible when someone gets to stay. What I have witnessed in this congregation is your seemingly undying willingness to show up for each other, to give of your gifts. One of us on staff will send out an email to ask for help, and inevitably, one, usually more of you, will say, yeah, actually, I can totally do that. None of us has to do this alone, and we don't have to do it perfectly. We all have room to grow and get better at things, and we celebrate each other's successes and are there for each other through hard times. A lot of churches out there are struggling right now, in our denomination and in others. UU Nashua is thriving because you all show up and be yourselves. You bring your time, your talent, your treasure, whatever you have, and you put it into this place and you make it what it is. Every single one of you contributes to the vitality that is this congregation. Putting your love into action here makes this a prototype for how we wish the world would be, right? How wonderful would it be if the whole world showed such care and trust and generosity as you all show with each other? Do you guys know about legumes and mycorrhizal bacteria? Mm-hmm. Show of hands. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Oh, it's got a couple people. Yes, yes. All right, for those of you that don't know, which is the majority. The plants in the legume family, these are beans and peas, but also locust trees and wisteria. They make those classic pods with big old seeds in them. These are all legumes. And these plants have a special gift. They partner with beneficial bacteria in the soil to make a symbiotic relationship. And that relationship produces nitrogen in a form that plants can eat. There's a lot of nitrogen around that plants can't eat, but this makes it available. So most plants can't do that because they don't have this hookup with this bacteria, right? So if you have legumes in your garden, they actually help all the other plants thrive a little more. And at the end of the service, I think about all of you going out your separate ways, being you out there, like little sweet peas of the world, showing the world how we could all be with each other by you going out and being you. This is my last sermon for my internship. But that's not the end. My graduation ceremony is next week in Chicago, but that's not the end. I'll come back here from Chicago and be here with you all for one more month until the end of the church year in mid-June. But that's not the end. That's right. Completing my degree and my internship are not the only requirements for ministry. The changes that go on inside of a seminarian are then assessed by a team of wise and respected UU ministers to determine whether that candidate is good enough to be in fellowship with the UUA. This is called the Ministerial Fellowship Committee, or MFC for short. As my late Grandma Faith used to call it, the Mighty Fine Committee. So my appointment with the Mighty Fine Committee is scheduled for this coming December. And between now and then, there is a hefty packet of materials for me to compile and a lot of reading to do. And if all of that goes well, I'll come back and visit you all in your proper UU Nashua sanctuary for an ordination ceremony next spring. God willing.